Hello, my YouTube ladies. So, I'm going to be driving, and I just seen the angle, and I hate it. You can totally see my double chins. Ooh, sorry. Let's see. Let's see if I move you this way. No, you can still see my double chins. Oh well. I guess you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I have two chins. Don't be jealous. So, anyways, wanted to give a quick update. I know I started doing Veda and it didn't seem like anybody was really watching my videos, which is why I stopped doing them. And whether that's right or wrong, I don't, I was kind of trying to do it for my own personal goal, but then I really felt kind of discouraged because not very many people were watching them. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I wanted to do this video because I had talked about that I was going to be starting the process of the FET, and I did do that, and let me tell you, it is way easier than IVF. For any women that get the opportunity, or the doctor suggests doing an FET if you have the frozen embryos, oh my God, do it, because it is so much simpler and less stressful and less invasive than IVF. I only had, because it had been a while, they made me do a mock transfer, which I think is ridiculous, but whatever. I guess maybe your uterus could change, especially after having a baby, so, maybe that was their justification. I don't know. But I only had to do that appointment, and they did the mock transfer. And then I did blood work that day too. They checked my thyroid, which I guess is a new thing now for fertility stuff. So I did that, and then let me see. And then I was taking birth control. I stopped taking the birth control, and all I had to do was take estrogen. And I was doing 2 times a day, and then I had to switch to 3 times a day. And then as it got closer to my lining check, I had to do prometrium vaginally 3 times a day for I think that was a week. And then the day of the transfer, the day before and the day of, I took some medicine for antibiotics, same as you do IVF. Oh, sorry, I got ahead of myself. I had one other appointment a week before my transfer. My transfer was on a Monday, September 10th, and that Monday prior, I had to go in for a lining check, which looked great. They wanted it at a 7 or higher, and I was at an 11. So that was good. And then I went the day of my transfer, and that was it. Like I said, I was, and then I had to do the prometrium, and then the day after my transfer, they had me on, I think it's called Creon. I don't know. I didn't use it last time with Lily. I had a tube, and you had to because I did use a progesterone cream, but I need gas. Sorry, my car is dinging. These ones are which is kind of nice because they're individually wrapped and filled, so each one is 1 dose, and I have to do that once in the morning and once at night, and then I have to take the estrogen once in the morning, once at night. That is it. It's so easy, so less stressful. It's definitely a lot easier for me because I already have Lily, so that definitely helps. I'm not lying. People probably think I'm crazy because I'm just talking to myself. But anyways, so my transfer was on September 10th. Went good, no issues. We transferred 2 embryos. It kind of sucked because the way my RE did it was they'd put some vials of 2 and a couple vials of 1, so that I would have the option of the single embryo transfer or 2. And we decided to do 2 just because this is going to be our last baby. We're only going to have 1 more pregnancy basically, and so if we ended up with twins. While my husband is kind of scared of that, I am a little bit excited. I'm not gonna lie. It would be really cool to have twins, and I've always wanted 3 kids, so it would be okay for us. But anyway, so they thawed the vial of 2 and only 1 survived. So then they had to thaw a vial of 1, and that one did survive. So the only sucky part is we lost an embryo. We lost a little snow baby. So that kind of stinks, but at the same time, they say the ones that don't survive thaw are usually the ones that are a little bit weaker. But all mine were 5-day blasts. They were all really good quality. I don't know. I think they were. I don't know the ratings. They gave me a paper, but it just looked like a bunch of mumbo jumbo, really, to me. So I think there was 5 double A's and 4 double A's and stuff. So from what I understood, they were good quality embryos. But yeah, so we transferred 2. So yeah. And my beta was today, and I would love to give you guys a result. However, somebody somewhere along the line dropped the ball because I requested if I could just go to a lab, a lab closer to my work, because since I changed my work schedule, I work 4 10-hour days, so I can have the extra day off with my daughter. And the clinic doesn't, I have to be to work at 7. The clinic doesn't open until 7:30, and then I get off at 5:30, and they close at 5. So, and my work, for whatever reason, they don't allow you to just take a few hours off. I mean, I can take a few hours, but then I have to stay later or come in even earlier, which is not an option. Or I can take a half day, and I really hate to waste a whole half day of my vacation, my vacation time for that because once I go to the appointment, I mean, it's like a 2-second thing and then I'm done. So I asked if I could go, to, it's like Sonora Quest. It's like a local lab. I don't know. They're probably in other states, but, I asked if I could go there, and she said, yeah, sure. No problem. Once you go get your blood work, call me and I'll put a stat on it, which is like a rush. So I went in on my lunch at 11 and I did the blood work, and I called the nurse and told her, and she said, okay, great, I'm leaving at 2, but the other nurse will call you back, because you're kind of like assigned a nurse depending on your doctor, because there's 4 different doctors in the clinic. So I was like, okay, great, no problem. So she said, if you don't hear anything by 4:30, give them a call. So I, of course, jumped the gun because I'm just super excited, and I called them at 3:30 and they didn't have anything. So I was like, okay, well, it's still early. I'll wait till 4:30. So I called back at 4:30. They didn't have the results in. So I was like, oh, well, that's a bummer. And they're like, yeah, well, we don't turn off the phones till 5 if you want to try back. So I was like, okay. So right after I hung up with them, I called Sonora Quest to see, or no, I'm lying. It was like 4:45, and I was like, well, I'm going to call Sonora Quest to see what they say. And so I called them, and they're like, oh, I see the order. They're like, but for whatever reason, it was never put stat, or rushed. So we don't have your results, but I'm going to change it right now for you. I'll put the stat on there, so it should be done within the hour. Well, yeah, the office closes at 5. So I hung up with them, and I called the doctor's office, and they can't give me the results, they said, because I asked if I could just call them back in an hour and get my results, and they said no, they can't do that. So I called the doctor's office, and they're like, yeah, well, we close. So, they're like, sometimes maybe if it's a stat, they'll page the clinician on call when they get the results, and that clinician can call you, that nurse will call you, but otherwise it'll be first thing in the morning. So, poo-poo on them for doing that. Like I said, I don't know if it was my nurse that dropped the ball or Sonora Quest, but I think you guys dropped. Yeah, so that sucks. I don't have my beta, but I did take a pregnancy test. I've been taking them since Saturday, and I think that's why I'm kind of nervous, because I took one on Saturday and there was nothing. It was negative. And then I took one. I had 2 first response with the pink line, the ones that are like 6 days before, and so that one had a very thin, very, very faint line. This is the one I took on Sunday. So I was like, oh, okay. So then my friend who found out she was pregnant back, I don't know, a few months back, had a first response, but the digital one that says plus or minus, which I've never used that one before. She had an extra one, because when she found out, she was like, I only needed one to tell me I was pregnant. So she gave that to me, and so I was like all excited, like, okay. So I took that Monday, but I did notice that it said it expired in July of this year, which I didn't even know pregnancy test expired. So, but I took it, and it was a no. It said no. So I was like, what the heck? Because the other ones, I had a really faint line, and that's how it started with my daughter. I had like a faint line, and it got darker as I took the test. But I had all of the same kind of tests. So I was discouraged, but I still had a clear blue easy digital. And so I decided to go ahead and take that, just because I knew if I didn't, it would be like running through my mind. So I took that, and that one said pregnant. So now I'm like, is it just different levels of HCG? Was it just still too early? Like when I was with my daughter, I was already getting positives with the test I took, but like I said, they were all the same brand. I don't know. So I'm just really nervous, and I'm afraid I'm going to have like a chemical pregnancy. I'm trying to be positive and optimistic, because it did say pregnant. And this is only our first try at FET. And it worked the first time with my daughter, so I didn't have to go through the heartache of it not working. But I really, I want it to be positive, and I'm hoping it's positive, and I hope everything is okay. But I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on with the FET and where I stand and what's happening. And I need to do a 1-year update on Lily, because holy crap, she's going to be a year old on October 4th, like in a couple of weeks. It's crazy. But yeah, so I wanted to do that quick update. I'll probably make a really quick video tomorrow once I get my beta, and I guess we'll just go from there, and I'm hoping that I'll have a good, healthy beta number. But otherwise, I'll talk to you ladies later. I am home and need to go inside and snuggle my baby. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.